Where are you from? This is one of the first questions people ask when they get to know someone. Although it's a simple question, it could be answered in multiple different ways, as it could be inferring about one's nationality, one's ethnicity, where one grew up, or where one lives. In fact, third culture kids, a wide group of people, dread this question every time it comes up. A third culture kid is a person who has spent a significant amount of their development stage in a country different to their parents' country of origin. They experience two different cultures, that of their home parents' country and of their host country. Due to the knowledge that they will eventually have to move back to their home country, third culture kids develop a mindset of mobility. This makes them different to the case of immigrants. As they become more familiar with this mindset and this lifestyle, they form their last culture, which encompasses all TCKs who know and share the same commonalities of these settings. Good afternoon, my name is Rima Wilkeson, and I will be talking about the question of identity in a third culture kid. The question I came up with is, do third culture kids ranging from 3 to 14 years old have difficulty in understanding their identity? This is relevant because third culture kids come from a wide variety of people who are sent out from our nation to other countries in order to perform tasks relevant for our government. For example, military are sent out to other countries in order to secure our nation, and it is the kids of these people who become third culture kids. Another example is businessmen who go out to other countries in order to create markets and sales. The answer I came up with is third culture kids ranging from 3 to 14 years old do have difficulty in understanding their identity because of an absence of belonging, an instinct of adaptability, and their reliance on society for a sense of self. The sense of belonging is the most important part of identity, as it establishes a foundation for third culture kids struggle in forming this sense of belonging as they are immersed in two separate cultures, not fully feeling a part of either one. An author of an academic journal called A Story to Tell expresses that the greatest challenges that TCKs face are in forming their sense of belonging and a sense of identity. For example, a kid raised by American parents but living in an African country, like the one shown here, would not be able to relate to Africans in the way food at home is cooked, familial systems, and many other cultural aspects practiced at a practical African home. On the contrary, this kid won't be able to relate to Americans in the way school is educated, in the way holidays are celebrated, and in many other American common knowledge, such as celebrities or TV shows. The second most important part of identity is one's morals and beliefs. For TCKs, they are unable to form these because of their instinct of adaptability. In a College Board provided stimulus called Urban Evolution, it infers that it is adapting and evolving to one's surroundings comes naturally to one. For third culture kids, this means adapting to every single one of the cultures coming their way. And each one of these cultures have their own set of beliefs and morals. This causes confusion for third culture kids in what they themselves believe. Then a male TCK expresses this in his narrative collage by incorporating multiple different pieces of scrambled art. In another College Board stimulus called A Long Walk to Freedom, Mandela expresses how living in prison, one of the hardest things he had to go through was keeping his morals and beliefs. Third culture kids are put in a similar environment where the people around them have contrasting beliefs and morals. They are unaware of how adaptability affects them because they believe that it is a survival skill. Margot, a female TCK, expresses this in her title of her narrative collage. Finally, third culture kids are left with their social identity. This is the most destructive because it is unstable and completely unreliable. This table shows multiple different authors who have studied and researched identity and belonging. Their major findings for TCKs show a loss of identity and identity negotiation. Identity negotiation is when one trades their own identity for one that is more widely appreciated. Third culture kids do this when they match the persona of the group they find themselves in order to be appreciated and valued. This creates a lower self-esteem for them, and eventually sometimes even can come to thoughts of suicide. In conclusion, it may not be obvious or seen, but third culture kids ranging from 3 to 14 years old have difficulty in understanding their identity because of a lack of belonging, their instinct of adaptability, and their reliance on their social identity. This is my works cited page. Any questions?
Yeah, I have 2 questions for you. Take a half step back if you would. Thanks, just so you're on the camera. How valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and then how do you know?
The sources that I have used were all coming from academic journals, which are a high tier of sources that are peer-reviewed.
Okay. And the last question, what additional questions emerged from your research as you were going through the process?
As I was researching this topic, I came to questions of how third culture kids would be affected by living in LDC countries compared to countries that are more developed, and how this would affect their identity compared to just any third culture kid.